Okay, there. So it is live right now. Can
Sure. Why don't
Aritra, the
you
Binay,
start this?
yeah, can you turn on your videos?
Yeah, sure.
It would be great. So, hi everyone. Welcome to the session. And we are having in the session we are having Aritra Das and Binay Shaw, who they are working as software engineers for ionage, and they will be sharing their journeys, how they have become app developers, and they are also the alumni of our college, JIS College of Engineering. They will be sharing their whole journey, how they have started their app development journey from zero to the position where they are right now. Okay. Aditya Das and Binay Shaw, you guys can start now.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
Okay.
Binay, go ahead.
So yeah. Hi everyone. Good evening. It was a lazy Sunday. I hope everybody grabbed their tea, snacks, and we are good for the go. And first of all, I'd like to thank Soradeep and Dev.com team for inviting us for this webinar. Well, this is our first webinar, and like this year only we graduated and decided to let's share some insights on app development from zero. So yeah, let's get started. So yeah, hi, I'm Binay Shaw, and
Hi, I'm Aritra Das. Hey, I'm Aritra Das. Hello. I'm audible.
yeah, the screen is
Yeah,
it's
okay,
not the
sorry. Yeah.
same.
Yeah. So, when you heard about the word app, so what comes in your mind? So, from my mindset, it's come Android or iOS. So, what is Android? So, Android is nothing but a mobile operating system which was developed by Google a few years back. It's basically a Linux kernel system, and it's currently an open source system. So, it is basically used to create smartphone apps or tablet apps. So here you can see the global mobile users across the globe, how many users are Android users. So you can see that 69.9 users are mostly Android, and others are just iOS and others. So Android ecosystem, it's uh, not only building smartphones. So using Android, you can build Wear OS, means wearables, means smartwatches. Auto OS means cars app, uh, apps for TV, smartphone appliances, and IoT devices also. So you might be surprised, means how Android is doing all these things, right? So yeah. So but why Android development? Because we are not expertise with Flutter and React Native. So back to your question, why Android development? So basically, if you came from ISC or CBSE board, so I guess you will know Java. So the basic thing to build an Android app is Java. So if you know Java, you can easily build Android apps. You can run it on multiple devices, like multiple OEMs like Xiaomi, Samsung, Redmi, and all. You can also test it on emulators. So basically, emulators are nothing but the virtual device which Android Studio provides us. You can also develop from both Windows and Mac. And as you can see, the global user range across the globe for Android is larger. So the market range for the Android is larger. And there is good career opportunity, and the community, it's very helpful and too good. And the most important thing, the Android is wholly open source. So you can read the code in the internet and GitHub.
So as you know, like career to hai under development में, so पैसा भी होगा. I mean, yes, you can earn 6 figure, 7 figure, and like even more as you grow. But yes, it comes with a catch, like competition भी है. So next slide, please.
Yeah, it is next slide.
DJ. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, there's no guarantee like you will get a job after this webinar. But yes, to stand out will help you how to make your project stand out, how to make like something that works, something that makes your resume shine. So yeah, next slide, please. Well, to get started, let's divide this into three sections. We need an IDE where you will code. That will be number two, Android Studio. As Audito already said, if you're coming from like let's say ICS or CBS, you might know Java. But yeah, Kotlin is the official language for Android development. Both supports, but yes, Kotlin is preferred. And these two are very similar languages. I mean, both compiles to using JVM. And yes, we need something to show the users what that will be, the UI, right? So we have XML and Jetpack Compose as well. So yeah, we'll get to that in the examples as well. Yep. Here's the like combination. Like you can pick anyone. I mean, I suggest pick Kotlin plus XML first because most of the companies are still using Kotlin plus XML and not the Jetpack Compose. Well, there are two ways to design UIs. XML is the older one and still going on, and Jetpack Compose is the newer one. It's a framework basically. There are few companies who has their legacy code in Java, so like you can still continue with Kotlin plus XML. That's the best way. Now coming to the part where your Android app, how your Android app, in simple terms, it's nothing but your UI and your logic. What you click and how it works, where you click and how it works internally. So when you click on the order button of Zomato, what happens? It places an order. The placing of order is on logic, but you click on a button. You don't say that place an order, you just click on a button. This is we have to bind these user interface and logic, and you'll get your Android app ready where the user interface lies, the XML part, and logic lies in Kotlin part. So yeah, next slide, please. By logic means let's say network, making API calls to server, getting response from there, saving something on storage. Let's say your contact app has a history of your contact logs or your messages. So these data is not saved on the cloud. These data is saved on your phone. If you clear your data, it will go away. Then coming hardware components like sensors, Bluetooth sensor, accelerometer, proximity, flashlight. You can control all these logic. State management. What is state management? Let's say you are on the login screen. You are seeing like let's say when you click on the forgot password, you go to the forgot password screen. When you don't have an account, you click on the sign up, you go to the register screen. So these are the three different states. And your internally Android knows on what basis I have to switch to a different screen, and internally it manages state. This is like in simple terms, it's a state management of managing screens, which screen to show when the user clicks on particular button, and many more. Yeah. So you might be confused like all these terms इतना सारा सीखना पड़ेगा क्या तो, but no, one at a time. We'll take small steps at a time. Let's take an example of two inputs. We take a equals 5 and b equals 6. Let's do some mathematical simple power of a to the power b, which is like 5 to the power 6 here, and the answer is c equals 15625. Very easy, right? It's a simple thing you can do it in Java, but like mat.power stuff. But let's take a something a little bit tougher, but not that tough. It will be like area of a circle. Next slide, please. Okay, so area of a circle is nothing but pi r square. Now pi is like 3.14 dot 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 whatever. Now let's take an example of radius equals 10. How do you put this in formula? Pi r into r into r. R is r10 and pi is 3.141. So your answer comes to A equals 31416. How do you code in Java? The code in Java should look something like this. Int radius 10 and simple mathematics, and you print the print it in using system.out.println and his output. The similar code in Kotlin you see is very clean, neat, and more readable. And you write less and do the same, or sometimes more. And this is why Kotlin is preferred for Android developers. And yes, it is 100% interoperable with Java. That means if you're using an Kotlin function, you can still access Java objects or functions. Now coming to the example, user interface. Let's design the first user interface. What we see. So let's have edit text where you will put something. Let's say the radius. Basically, here is 10, right? The first component we have edit text. The second we have a button to calculate. The third we have to display the output. We have input, output, and the button. Now we have three components. We have three variables. Please, the next slide. This is the Android code that should look, I mean, it should look like this. We have three variables in the first three lines. The first one is the output text view. The second one is the radius edit text. This is where we put our input. And the third one is button. Now the logic is, when you click on the button, it should show you some output, right? When you click on the button, I will first take the input, I will calculate, I will show the output. So the line number 5 says calculate dot set on click listener. That means when my button is click, listen to this particular scope, which is between 6, 7, and 8. Line number 6 says, this is my radius. Convert my text field into string and to double. And double is nothing but a primitive data type of object-oriented program. I mean, every program basically. So Java, we have a wrapper classes called double. Same for Kotlin as well. And line number 7 says area equals mat.py radius into radius. That was the same code we use in Kotlin and Java. And line number 8 says set my text view to area of circle is dollar area. Dollar area is like putting the value of area we had. That was, I guess, 314.6 or whatever it is. Yeah. Now, example time. Let's see some example. I'll share my screen. Give me a second.
Guys, if you have some questions, I am speaking to the attendees. If you have question, you can ask Aritra and Binoy. Okay.
Is my screen visible?
Yes, your screen is visible.
Okay, cool. So, yeah. Let's bring this up. Okay, so let me run this code. This is the same, I think it's visible, right? This is the text view, what you see here. This area is like the same. I'm taking a instance of this into a variable. This is the edit text, what I'm going to enter here. And the last one, line number 20, is the button. If I click on button, it should ideally say area of circle is something which I don't know. It can be anything. Let's put an example of 34. Now this says like my area of circle is 3631.68 and dot dot dot, whatever it is, right? This is how you can simply bring your logic, what you learned in class 12 or class 11 or whatever, if you have CS background. But no worries, if you don't have, you can still learn it like very quickly. Kotlin is a very simple language to get started with as well, for data structures as well. Now we had the same example, and we had the same piece of code. This is the same logic, and we are putting here and just setting text, nothing else. Instead of println or system.out.print, we are setting the text as like area of circle is like, let's say 35. It says 3848. Yeah. And as I said, interoperability. Let's take a different example. So let me show you util class I have. Okay, so this code is written in Java. Time util. If I pass here, let's say some number r. If it is 5, it says good morning. If it is after 12, it says good afternoon. If it is like in between 17 and 21, it says good evening, else it will just say good night. So I just have to pass hour, I can pass null as well. So let's type my name here. It says good evening, Binay. So it is taking the current time right now I have, because it is passing null. Let's say if I'm passing 5, it's 5 a.m. in the morning. What happens? It's building.
Uh, Bina, can you share the GitHub repo?
Sure.
Uh, uh, yeah.
Everything is on the link tree. Is I mean, I have added the QR code in the last slide, so
Okay,
everything is
okay,
added.
okay,
Yeah,
okay,
cool.
okay.
So let's say I'm typing my name again, and it says good morning because it's 5 a.m. in the morning. This entire code is like .kt extension. That means it's Kotlin, and it's using timeutil.java. Here is a timeutil.java, and it is like, I mean, you can exactly use the Java code in your Kotlin class, or like vice versa as well. But Java does not support. But yeah, you can use your old code, old Java code in your Kotlin. So the main motive to show this was to just to show an insight that people, the companies basically still has their Java code using in the like legacy code base. They want you as an intern to convert these Java codes into Kotlin. So you should know both of these at least. I mean, Kotlin you should at least know for Android development, and Java is something you can, I mean, easily understand. It's very simple, but you have to write more. That's a catch. Yep. I think I can't see the presentation. Arito, can you share it if you're not?
Yeah, I'm sharing currently. Okay.
Is it? Give me a second.
Can you share?
So, excuse me, Auditor and Binay, have you seen
Yeah.
that we have crossed 100? There are actually 103
Let's see.
attendees right now. Actually,
Oh,
that's
Nice,
great.
great.
nice. That's great to see.
Yeah.
100 plus people. Thanks all for joining this lazy
Yeah.
Sunday
Thank
evening.
you.
Yeah. I
Uh,
think I have to switch between the. I can't see the screen share of slides. Can you reshare it
yeah.
again once, please?
Yeah. 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 Let me do it. Sorry, guys. The it crashed. I don't know why.
Okay, no worries. I can share the screen if you want. Okay. Okay.
Uh,
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
I can see it, right? Currently. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah.
Well, the app worked perfectly fine. So pat yourself on the back. Nice. It was nice. I mean, this is how you can put whatever you know, the basic thing, into your let's say a simple Android app just to get started. I mean, this was just to encourage you guys. You can get started right away with the simple logic like unit converter converting rupees into dollar and like vice versa. Yeah. Next slide, please. Well, the process I showed you, like, I mean, the idea was, to calculate the radius. It was a simple formula. I just copied, pasted the same logic in Android, but I have to bind the UI with my logic. That was the main thing I have to do. That's an extra step I have to do because I have to show something. I don't have to print it. I have to show an UI, a button, a text field, and everything. That's the extra thing we have to do. But if you go in companies, the basic process is like you have to come up with some idea, then you have to design how it should look, you have to implement that, writing code, and you have to test it. Is that working fine in different devices? Is it working fine? You have to do some iterations, unit tests, instrumented tests, and multiple things. So this is also a part of your syllabus in final year. It's called software development model. It's called waterfall model basically. So you will eventually learn this. But yeah, moving on to the next slide.
I have a question. Can I ask?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, when did you guys actually started Android development? In the third year or second year?
Second year, I guess.
Well, it was second year.
Yeah.
And
It
that's
was
great.
like,
And
yeah,
ha-
I mean, in the month of August or September, I guess, 2021, if I'm not wrong.
second year 2021 or 2 years
Yeah,
from now,
we
no?
were in a second.
You were fourth. It was actually, I guess, yeah, 2021. Okay, that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, we are COVID batch actually.
Also recession batch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, folks,
I'm
if you have any question, you can ask them regarding Android development. If you have any kind of question, you can definitely, frankly, ask
so
them. Just raise your
am I
hands for
audible?
that. Okay, you can continue.
Yeah.
So I'm Ashwin.
Yeah, please. Yeah. Uh,
Am I audible?
Yeah, you're
yeah,
audible,
you
Ashwin.
bet.
So why you choose app development? Why not something like a software engineering? Why app
Well,
development?
I'll answer this. Software development. Your question is basically why we chose Android development and not software development, right? Is it so?
Yeah, that's my question.
Okay. Well, Android development comes inside software development. I mean, it's a subset of software development. Software development is not only limited to like developing websites or something like that, but it's an umbrella. Everything lies inside it, under it. We have Android development, we have development, we have website development, we have so many things, and that all things lies under software development. So it's a part of software development, some way or the other. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
I guess Rohit had a question. Can you ask them?
Hi. First of all, hi. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
you
can
are.
turn on your camera, Rohit.
Okay. So first of all, hi. I am from JIS2. By the way, I am a Flutter developer. Okay. I
Okay.
have a simple question like Android development and Flutter development are from Google itself, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
how you see do you think like Flutter gonna take over the that whole Android development scene as Flutter is a like cross-platform app development framework? Like it's a I want to like just listen from you. A simple thing.
Okay. If you are following Google I/O, like Google I/O, I mean, they said that they will not be releasing some updates for Flutter, if I'm not wrong, and they are
Okay.
trying to suppress Flutter for some reason. I mean, it will not be get suppressed anyway for some because there's a huge community for Flutter, and the reason they are doing is maybe Kotlin multi-platform and Compose multi-platform are the new things that are in the market. So they are trying to, like, it's a kind of marketing strategy. They are trying to say that, hey, this is my new product. I want to launch this. Please try it. If you love this, like use this in production, use this in your app and stuff.
Hmm.
So it's not like that. It will. Oh, I mean, it will get suppressed or get overtaken by some other technology. It will be there. Kotlin multi-platform still has a lot of way to cover, but yeah, things will like eventually you will eventually understand like how like things will progress for both Kotlin multi-platform and Flutter as well. But yeah, people still prefer in my opinion, what I've seen, there are a lot of Flutter job opportunities than Android, because startups think if we use Flutter or React Native, they will code once and run twice, I mean, for both the
Yup,
platforms.
yup.
But native speed is something different. So
Hmm.
I mean, it
Agree,
has an
agree, agree.
advantage. Yeah.
Agreed.
I hope
Completely.
that
Thank you
answers
very
your
much. Yep.
questions.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Yes, Somik, you can ask.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Sir, just like Rohit asked about that cross-platform and native platform, I have a similar doubt that should we learn cross-platform as it work both ways? But in terms of native development, we learn Java. So if we don't like Android development at the first place, we can shift to DSA and other stuff through Java. but cross-platform has its own advantages. Like in the upcoming startups, they don't require native development with any software like Kotlin or Swift. They need cross-platform development using Flutter or React Native. So, what will be more beneficial, to learn all technologies or just to stick with one which is beneficial to us, like cross-platform or native?
Well, this is totally subjective, I would say. Yeah, Aritro, you're saying something. You
Uh,
can answer this.
yeah, so basically for learning purposes, you're telling that you can learn Java and shift to DS and all. But mm, but some major companies like Grow, Fox, and other companies, they are still using Kotlin as their current code base. So it's up to you that what you're interested to learn in.
I have a follow up to this. This is totally subjective, I would think, because if you want to, I mean, DSA, you can do it with C++ as well, but you won't be able to develop something. So if you want to go with, let's say, Flutter, you have to learn Dart for that. Now, learning Dart, you have to learn, let's say you are going to do some DSA, you can pick C++ along with Dart for Flutter. I mean, it's your choice. You can go with a simple and very easy way. You learn Kotlin for DSA and Android development as well. People actually use Kotlin for data structures and algorithms interviews. If you interview at Swiggy, they will ask questions, DSA questions, obviously, for the first round, and that will be on Kotlin. If you go for like regional startups, like I should not name this, but yeah, it's a like retail market in Bangalore. They asked me Kotlin. Kotlin, they asked me, they said me like I have to code in Kotlin for the DSA problems, that all the problems they say. So it's like Kotlin is, you can use it for most of the things which you think, like multi-platform development, website develop. You can even develop websites, static websites with Kotlin. You can develop Android apps. You can also do DSA. So I think it's subjective. It's you should think about this, whether you want to do like development, entirely development, or DSA with that, or entirely DSA. If you want to like balance these, like find a sweet spot for that.
I hope Somik that answers your questions. So Aritra and Binay, I have a question coming from my personal side. Can I ask?
Yeah, please.
Sure,
Okay,
sure.
it is related to career. So how you guys, how many projects did you build before you got into Ionage? Is just
Okay,
curiosity. Yeah,
okay.
I know.
Or either you can go. Yeah, you can start.
From second year, I guess uh, 7 to 8. I guess
7 to 8.
don't remember it, but yeah, 7 to 8. Currently,
And
one is going on. So yeah.
okay, and how did you got into Ionage? Can you share the journey?
Yeah. So basically, at that time I was means for internship you have to search LinkedIn, means you have to stay in LinkedIn for the whole day, means you have to connect with people, talk to them, ask them if there is any open role in their company or not. So I got to know about this company. It's an EV startup, so I got to know about it. I have i especially DM'd the co-founder, means the CTO. uh, then he replied me back. Then he told to write a mail first. After writing the mail for over 1 week, I didn't get any response. Then I saw a website. I guess you have guys have heard Qvet. It's basically a job portal. So from there, I have seen the JD. Means they have opened a post for the annual development intern. So I applied through Qvet, and after 1 week, I got a call from their team to that you are shortlisted and you have to. There is a there's round one after, means 2 days something. So after giving round one basically on the Android things and all. After the round one, it takes almost 2 weeks. It was quite late. After 2 weeks, I got a call again that you are shortlisted for round two. And the round two is basically with the CTO. So he asked me some DSA questions, some basic DBMS thing, OS things, and yeah. After I guess 3 to 4 weeks, I got a call from the CDO that you are selected and all. And yeah, I joined as an intern. Then after working for almost 11 months over here, they gave us a PPO, and yeah, we got a full time offer.
Okay, you started this internship in your third year or second year?
Third year around
Third
June,
year.
June I guess, yeah, June.
Okay. 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 I guess Masum has a question. Can he ask?
Hello, good evening. So I have two questions actually. First one is what are some common mistakes that beginners make and how can I avoid them? And the second one is are there any tips for ensuring that my app meets basic quality and some security measures that are required for deployment?
Okay.
Yeah,
Arito, you're going to answer this?
you can answer. Okay, you can.
Okay. Like your first question was like, can you repeat your first question first?
First question is what are some common mistakes that beginners tend to make during their journey of
Okay.
app development?
Okay, so from my personal experience and what I have seen throughout is like people directly jump into code. Like, अरे ये तो ऐसे ही हो जाएगा चुटकी में. So they just directly code it out. Later they found out that they're missing something, either null pointer exception or something very basic issues. So the first thing you can do is write down your problem, and this always works. If this works for me, this will work for you as well. Write down the problem. If you understand what you have written, and if you understand the problem, you can write it on your own. You have solved 50% of your problem, first of all. Now you have to like divide that problem into sub problems. Let's say for example the button is not working, or let's say a list is not showing the list. So there can be multiple reasons. Either I'm not getting the response from API, I'm not getting that. That can have an internet issue. Either I have not given the permission of internet, that can be the issue. So you have to at some point of time you will feel that okay, this can be the reason. This comes with experience, first of all. And to be honest, data success and algorithms has helped me. I didn't knew it will help me, but in the long journey it helped me more than I thought. So yeah, data success and algorithms is one of the must thing. And yeah, as you practice you will eventually learn what you should not do. This should also come with experience as well as from learning from others experience as well. Yeah.
Okay, then
Um,
if I know DSA, then will it be beneficial for me in long run?
yeah, exactly. For everything. Even if you try to switch to a different company, they will eventually ask you DSA. Either it's an on-campus or off-campus, they will eventually ask. So if it is an on off-campus company, the question can range from medium to hard. It will be it's a very less chance you will get easy questions. But yeah, I think you guys have plenty of time to prepare for that. So all the best for that.
Okay, thank you. And my second question was, what are some tips for ensuring that my app meets basic quality and security measures for deployment?
For deployment. Okay, well, there are multiple set of rules that you should follow. The time when your app is ready, uh, actually there's a term called flavors in deployment. There is a debug or testing flavor. There is a production flavor. uh, when you use some app, it has a premium option. For example, LinkedIn. So LinkedIn internally has three or four, more than three or four flavors. One is develop, one is release, one is premium, one is like, let's say, for like the other flavors. So these are the things they make sure before deployment. So what I will give you a simple example. uh, you have a release and production flavor. The release will have only the things you need. The debug will have logs. Uh, let's say you are printing something that should not be on your release flavors. This is one of the things. For security, you need some encryption. If you're saving something, let's say you're saving an API key in your app, that should be encrypted. You can use any sort of encryption algorithms like AES or SHA-256 or anything. You have YouTube classes for that. You can search it on internet or Stack Overflow. But yeah, basic things. I mean, things should be encrypted, and you can use git ignore for that before pushing it to GitHub if you're using it like making your repository public. And yeah, the I mean, Play Store always check for security, so don't worry much about that. They will inform you if you're breaking something, so you're good with that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Binoy Doritroda, now Ayush has a question. Ayush, you can
Okay.
turn on your mic as well as video.
Yeah, hi. Am I visual and audible?
Yes, you are visible,
Yeah.
Ayush.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Binoda, and hi, Aritra. I'm also from GSK too. Yeah. And by the way, we met in Ride Fest last year, I
Yep.
guess.
Yep. I remember.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, thank you. And my question is, you mentioned there are two UI kit, that XML and Jetpack Compose. So, does Jetpack Compose give us more flexibility in building the UI of for app, or does the same thing? Why there are two tools?
Vitro, you'd like to answer this?
Yeah. So in XML, you can say the
Mhm.
animations.
Yeah.
The animations are quite tougher to do in XMLs,
Okay.
but in Compose, it's much easier. Means there are multiple modifiers. If you not know Compose, then you not have modifiers, but there are
Mhm.
multiple functions that you can use in your Android app to animate some particular things. And the code structure for XML is quite a mess, I guess I will say. But
Yeah.
in Compose, it is quite easy. Means it's that code base is readable.
Okay.
So
Okay.
from my choice, the Compose is better than XML.
Okay. All right. Yeah. And also, I have one more question. So, it related to Kotlin, that Kotlin has built up I guess, JetBrains build up a Kotlin multi-platform. So, would you like recommend the KPM right now for building websites also?
I
I
guess
think,
website is currently in alpha, I guess, or beta, something
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah, but
Uh, I have not tried it, so I have not no
okay,
idea about it. So then I can.
all right,
Uh,
okay,
Well,
okay,
for website development, KMP is using Wasm for that. I mean, basically CMP, not KMP. For with KMP,
yeah,
you can use like uh, desktop apps for Android and iOS. I mean, you
yeah,
have to
yeah,
write the
sure,
native code, the business logic, but the UI anyways will be in Jetpack Compose, so that's an advantage.
okay,
But yes, due to like for iOS support, CMP, the Compose multi-platform is still in alpha and using Wasm. By the way, like in Droidfest, I already talked about Cobweb, so that's a like open source framework people can use to develop websites using
yeah, yeah,
Kotlin.
yeah. Would you recommend that to learn webs development from there?
To Cobweb, right? With Cobweb.
Yep, yep, sure.
Well, Cobweb is good if you want to start with. I mean, if you know basics of websites like, uh, let's say, how to handle the clicks, how to show an alert on top of your window,
Yeah, yeah.
browser window, and
Mm-hmm.
sort of things. But I
Okay,
mean, the main thing you can do is like play around and I mean make some portfolio websites of yourself
okay,
or
okay,
simple
okay,
sort of things. But yeah, it's not for production.
okay. Thank you, then. Okay,
Thanks.
thank you.
Okay, now Boivab has a question. Boivab, you can unmute yourself.
Good afternoon, Binod and Pavitra.
yeah, hi.
So my question is about like, suppose I know HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and a little bit of Node.js and Express.js. I know how to call APIs. What is the best way to have a taste of Android development?
Sorry, can you repeat once?
So, like, suppose I know a little bit of front end and
Okay.
Node.js and Express.js for the server side handling, and I can make API calls. So, how
Okay.
can I have a little bit of taste of Android development using this tech stacks, or what should I know to have a little bit taste of Android development?
What should you try, right? I mean,
Yeah.
If you know full stack development, like mostly people who know full stack, they try to switch. I mean, they try to bring the flavor of this React Native. That's what people usually do. But I would highly recommend to try with Kotlin and XML at least if you want to, like implement your backend, basically implement your API logic and use that in your app. I would highly recommend with Kotlin and XML at least. XML is like very easy to understand for the beginners. So yeah, I think that would be my answer.
Okay. And previously you was talking about WASM, right? So how can I use WASM in Android development?
Android WASM is basically like it stands for WebAssembly, and it's not related anything with Android, but as a part of KMP, which is like supporting multiple platforms at once and writing the code once and supporting multiple platforms. So for the
Mhm.
sake of that, uh, it's not related to Android. So you have to like it's a different. I mean, it's a completely different story for that.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks.
Thanks.
So Aritra and Binay, now Chirag has a question. Will you like to answer hear his question or continue with the slide? You can do what you
Yeah,
wish.
sure. I think we'll answer a couple of questions and we
Yeah.
are good to.
Okay, Chirag, you can unmute yourself now.
Hello, I'm Chirag. Good evening, and I'm also from JIS. So actually, I wanted to ask, like, how do you handle app performance in like different hardware, especially as we know Android is like having different hardwares. So how do you handle the app performance there and its optimization also?
Madhito?
Oh, okay. So for performance, there are a couple of things. One thing is baseline profile. So currently I'm seeing reading one article regarding Zomato, I guess. Yeah. So they integrated baseline profile in their APK, means the app that you use, I guess. So it speed up the performance up to, I guess, 30%. Yeah. So one thing is baseline profile. Another thing, to write code for the using best practices, means sometimes we write code like ठीक है मतलब अभी के लिए चल रहा है but बाद में देख लेंगे. But if you want to means perform, means every devices it will learn as smooth as it can, then you have to write the best practices code. Yeah. Anything add? Wait, Vinay?
Yeah, there is one thing I would like to add. Well, all these things are nothing but processes which runs on your threads. So if your app is running slow, there could be some reason like either there is like the RAM is like taking the app is taking much space in the RAM, or it's not processing properly. I mean, there are multiple concepts of threads in Android, like main thread, IO thread, and in coroutines basically. So if you learn that well, like how to we use which dispatcher at what time, and in that way you can segregate your let's say you are making an API call that should not be on main thread. If you use that main thread, your app will freeze. You can't do. I mean, if you click on but it will do nothing. So there is a concept of threads in Android development. If you proceed with Android development, you will eventually come across coroutines. So this will also help to speed up your app's performance. From my experience, there is a trip feature of our app, ionage app basically. Earlier, the speed was let's say if it was like X, it was improved by 30%, almost 30% by using coroutines. I was using dispatcher.default. This does CPU intensive task in a small block of code. And my main thread was not blocked and it was very smooth. So if my app was taking, let's say, 30 seconds for making an API call and rendering the markers in the map, Google Map basically. Now it's taking, instead of 30 seconds, it's taking, let's say, 70, 17, 18, or around 20 seconds. Yeah,
Thank you.
I hope I answer your questions.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Cool.
Okay, Aritra then Binay. Now Paramita has a question. Paramita, you can turn on your mic.
Hello.
Yes, you are audible.
Uh, Good evening. I am Parumita from JIS first year. So basically, I am new to this field. So I have a question that which language should I choose for DSA? Currently, I am doing C. Along with C, what other language should I choose?
Binay, please.
Okay, for C, I mean, coming to the part C, C is totally for academics. I'll still say if you're like planning to do Android development, then prefer Kotlin first because you can do both Android development as well as DSA with Kotlin. But if you're not planning Android development, if you're planning, let's say, backend development or let's say front-end development with, let's say, even full stack development with MERN or mean stack, you can start with Java, you can start with C++ as well. So I mean, it's totally optional, but if you want to do Android development, please pick Kotlin. That would be my like preference, that would be my opinion.
Okay, thank you.
Uh, DUS, you can ask a question. DUS. Okay.
Well, hello. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Well, I would like to ask that as I am really very new, first year, how should I just start? What should be the pathway?
Can you repeat
Well,
your question
yeah,
once? How should you?
uh, hello. I am also from JIS. Well, I am really new, first year. I don't even know any programming language. I just know about the names of the languages. I'm just asking what should be the pathway of this development, app development, and all stuffs. Currently, well, I am doing C.
Okay. Well, that is understandable. First of all, I mean, if you proceed with C, you will understand the basic concepts of programming. I mean, that's why C is called mother of all languages. So, if you start learning C, you will understand pointers, how function works, how you can create your own data structure. I mean, basics of data structures as well. So, these are the basic concepts of programming. And I mean, if you know this, you can switch to any programming language, whether it be Python, Kotlin, Java, I mean, Swift. You can try anything. So it's just that you have to make transitions, you have to learn some keywords and concepts, small concepts. But yeah, if you're going with C, if you're starting with C in a college, then I think you should focus more on at least I mean, basic data structures in C. Let's say you can create a linked list in C. Uh, I don't remember. I guess it's struct, right? So let's say you are creating a linked list. You can solve DSA problems, simple DSA problems using C. Then you are good to go to switch to a different language. I mean, don't try to like learn C and Kotlin. For example, don't learn to learn. I know try to learn two languages at a time. That would be like close to impossible for you. So learn one language at a time. I hope that answered your question.
Well, thank you.
Thanks.
Hello.
Okay. Hello. Okay, Orijit, you can unmute yourself to ask the question. Ask your question. Orijit.
Hello, I'm audible.
Yes, Aditya, you are audible.
Yeah. Uh,
Okay.
Actually, I'm BCA first year student from JIS College, and my question is, should we learn full stack developer in our first year journey or focus on our academics?
This is totally subjective question. And even I don't know, like I never tried development in my first year, so I don't think I'm the right person to ask. So I like to pass this question. Oitro, would you like to answer this, or so if like anybody from the dev dot team, like
So from my expertise means if you're in first year, try to explore other things. Means anything, means Python, AIML, anything. Then after going to second year, means choose one tech stack. Like say you will do full stack or Python AIML. Try to choose and then start doing it. After choosing, don't means कि हाँ मेरे को अच्छा लग रहा है नहीं करूँगा मैं भी. Don't choose other field. After second year, choose one and stick to it. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So, so now anyone has any question? Fardin, okay, Fardin, you can unmute yourself. Fardin, hello.
Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
So good evening, Binoida and Aritra. I am Fardin Rahman from JIS. So my question is basically is that suppose if I created a simple app like a music player or something like a app that can take notes. So is there any way to make profit from it?
Profit.
Aritra, are you going to answer this?
Yeah. So uh, I'm not sure that you will want to profit on it, but you will get 100 plus downloads. That I can guarantee it. Because you will share that app to your friends कि download कर ले मैंने बनाया है. So yeah, you will get that 100 plus downloads, but not the profit. For profit, we have to build such features which are not in the. So let's say you are making a notes app. So you have to build some features which are not in the current marketplace of the notes app. If you build that features, means anything beyond that, then users can try it, means other users, except your friends or relatives, anything else. Then you can make profit, means not profit, but the download will increase, people will know you. Yeah, that's all. For profit, you have to means do a paid feature, something that LinkedIn does, LinkedIn Premium. So you have to come out with the ideas and all, yeah, for making profit from your app.
Yeah, one follow up. You can also like put this AdSense, like you can put ads on your app, but that depends how much consistent users are in your app. Those are using it daily or like at least regularly. So there are multiple factors for that. So yeah.
Okay, so I have another question. What are some resources that can I use to learn Android development?
Resources, right? Okay. There are roadmaps. We'll share a roadmap in the end of the slide. There's a QR code, but to answer your question, there are multiple videos to understand like how people make apps. Before learning something, you should know how others do it, right? So let's say you are trying to cook something, you're trying to cook tea for the first time. You just like grab your phone, like search on YouTube like how to make tea, or you ask your parents like how to make tea, right? This is a basic step. So once you learn that, you start doing it on your own with some supervision. So the first step I would recommend, go watch some videos how people make a to-do app. For example, once you did that, try coding it out. If not, try going on GitHub, see how people coded it. I mean, there could be a better approach than yours. There's always a better person than ourselves, right? So it's better to learn from others as well, from others mistake and others what they did right. So start from watching videos, then implement it by yourself, then watch how other did it and what they did better than you. So I think if you keep iterating this, you will get better at it.
Thank you.
Thanks. I hope we can continue with the slides. We can keep the Q&As at the end.
Okay, Dada.
Yeah. So let's get back to the topic. So after you build the app, okay, yeah, build the basic app is good. But inside making the app, there are multiple things that works. One is Android lifecycle. So what is lifecycle? Means let's say you are using an app, you have opened it up. Uh, from opening state to it goes to the background, then you are killing it. So that's the whole Android lifecycle. So let's take example. So you are using Instagram and seeing reels. I guess almost all do it. Let's say your mother call it up. You switch to your phone app. You talk to her, and after cutting the call, you came back to Instagram. So you will see the same reel with the same timestamp. It's still the same. So here the Android lifecycle comes into play. Means it saves the user state. Means where it leaves, and whenever you come back from the background, it will retain the state and show you the same state. So it prevents the app from crashing mostly. Yeah. So there are multiple lifecycle events in Android. So you open the app from coming to the home screen, means main screen, to seeing the button, seeing the contents. So the on create, on start, on resume. These three events come into play. Then once you see all the contents and all, you scroll the notification bar from above. Then the Instagram app, it goes to on pause. Means it currently on pause. The activities that you are using is currently on pause. Once you scroll up the notification, it again goes to the resume state. Again the same. So let's say you have stopped the application. So means you have killed the application. Then it will go from pause to stop and then on destroy. So yeah, one more major thing. So Android manifest. Let's understand with the example. Let's say you entered a class. Uh, in the table there is register. So inside the register, there are couple of names of the students who study in the class. So you can means bridge between the names. So that is the register for you. Means it contains the name. So teacher will come and give present or absent first. So for manifest, so it's basically the screens that are declared inside it. Screens, the permissions, the app theme, the icons and the labels. So labels means the app name and some metadata or the API key that you want to store. Yeah. So the third part is Gradle, one of the nightmares for Android developers because the Gradle build sucks. So to understand Gradle in a simpler way, let's say you are hosting a party for your friends and you need snacks, drinks, and you need to sort the music also. So those three things are dependent for the party, right? So Gradle, what does Gradle do? So it manages the dependencies you use in your Android app. So dependencies can be like the external tools or libraries that you want to use. So let's say you want to make an API call. So you want to use the retrofit library. I guess you have heard the word retrofit. So those who haven't heard right now. So retrofit is basically an open source library for it is used for API calls. Means let's say you have an endpoint. So using a retrofit, you can fetch the data from the API. And another things you can do with Gradle is Gradle helps in compiling the code. And let's say you have a two features. Means you have a free feature and a paid feature. So what does LinkedIn does? So they have LinkedIn and LinkedIn Premium. So they build different Gradle for both the free and the paid. And in the Gradle also, we have to define the app version. Let's say current Instagram app version is 2.3 point something. So over Gradle, we have to keep the app version updated. Let's come to resources. So resources is a basic thing. Resources is not just the another folder inside the your project. So it basically contains the layout, strings, images. So you can see, right? So you have a main activity. So for that activity, there is one layout, and there are color strings and all. Yeah. So come to the major part of Android architecture. So nothing definition. So yeah. So architecture is, you can say, the basic blueprint of how you can structure the app and put the code in such place that you can easily find out, and it's a clear architecture. Yeah. So there are three types of architecture pattern. One is MVC, model view controller, MVP, model view presenter, and MVVM. So MVVM is one of the means most recently most used architecture in all over the app development scene. So what is MVVM? So the definition, the full form, which you can see, model view view model. So what does model do? So models basically represents the your app data and the business logic. View, you can easily understand what view does. This is a UI layer for displaying data. Was simple. And view model is the bridge between the view and the model. So let's see the one example for architecture. Sorry. Uh, let's take fridge. So everybody uses fridge in the day-to-day life, I guess. So there are multiple compartments of fridge, right? One is freezer, one is fridge, one is sidebar and all. So you can't keep vegetables in freezer, or egg in the freezer, or chicken in the fridge or sidebar. So there are multiple compartments for each purposes. Same like Android. So you can't keep the UI code in the view model or the business logic. So you have to keep it segregated. So it's a single truth of source of truth. Yeah, Vinay, please.
Sure. Well, as the title says, app dev from zero. So we'll start from zero, and I'll share how and what a beginner, experienced, and advanced Android developer should know and is expected to know and can learn. So yeah, next slide, please. Oh, by the way, the slides are also shared in the last QR slide. It has a QR code you can scan and get the slides. So no worries. So yeah, for the basic level, you should know Android basics, as Aurito said, life cycles, events, all these stuff, Gradle, manifest, and resources. These are the key components you should know. Then coming Android Studio, you should know how to use Android Studio, how to run this in your own physical device. Let's say you own a Samsung phone, you can run that the code you wrote in your own phone and show it to us. I mean, that's a flex. Anyway, but yeah, you should also learn let's say Kotlin. So people, if you apply for internships, people will ask you Kotlin. You can't just go and say just I know Java, I know data structures, and I can code in I will learn Kotlin eventually. That's not how it works. So you have to eventually learn Kotlin. You can create simple apps as in to do a notes app, as uh, we got to know this in the Q&A session as well. Yeah, calculator, BMI calculator, unit converter, currency converter, like currency converter, counter app, and so on and so forth. So these are the basic things you can make. Next slide, please. Intermediate level, well, you can start with best practices. You can go to let's say somebody's profile who is an Android developer. You can check their repositories, how they solved a problem, how they did better, or how they, you know like messed up the code and how you can do better from them. So that that is something you can consider. Learn optimization, that is like I said, core routines. Well, there's a concept of threading in Java, there's concept of threading in Kotlin as well. So that is something you can help, you can learn to optimize your apps and processes. Then creating, making API calls and saving data locally. Let's say you have a contact app, you can save the history of the people you called, or a messaging app. So yeah, making an API calls, that also falls in the examples below. Like let's say authentication app, you use Firebase, that also comes with an SDK. Chat app, FCM is there, Firebase cloud messaging. Expense tracker, you have your own backend and now you want to implement that like API in your app, you can do with that. And yes, as MVVM was mentioned, is like as intermediate level you should know MVVM, because it is one of the most used architecture in the market. So it's like people often follow this. Yes, and also learn to bring your Figma designs into real life code. Like people, companies want you to design your design the UI pixel perfect. I mean, it should be the same color, same size, same height, and should fit in all different phones. It should fit in the tablet, it should fit in a small phone, it should fit in a normal phone. So this is something you are expected to learn and do it. Next slide, please. Advanced level. Well, now you have the same thing, best practices, optimization, that never ends, that goes for expert as well. So yes, you have to keep on doing this. You have to learn clean architecture, and clean architecture is nothing but you have MVVM and there is another a cherry on top, clean architecture. It's like more segregation, more partition of packages. Now it is now we have software engineering basics like solid principles, SRP, single responsibility principle, SSOT, single source of truth. These are the software engineering basics you will eventually learn in your academics, but it's better to learn earlier as well. I mean, who cares, right? Then advance for advance, like people should know caching. I mean, when you use Twitter in your offline mode, you will eventually see first two or three posts are already there, even though you don't have the internet. I mean, you can't refresh, but it's there. Your app should support offline mode. Your app can support like let's say from today it's 500 users, tomorrow it can be 500 million users. So scalability is a factor as well. CI/CD, I mean, you should have a pipeline on your app that when you like push something in your main branch, if you are aware with the Git thing, if you push something on your main branch, it should already make a build of your app, both release and debug. And for the example, like you should be able to make food delivery app clone, advanced chat app, like chatting with your friends via Bluetooth or like via FCM, attaching images like WhatsApp, and so on and so forth. Stock market tracker with graphs, with candlelight graphs, and like designing all sort of uh, whatever you see in Grow app, for example. Yeah, AI/ML integration. You can use face recognition. You can implement your own AI models in your app. You can use OCR like to detect texts. You can also like make image editing app. If you are an advanced, you are expected to do at least, I mean, you're not expected to do everything, but at least you're expected to crack it and like do it some way or the other. So yeah, that's the idea. I mean, you're not expected to, you're not a god, we are not god, nobody's god, but you are expected to crack it. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's come to how to build projects. Uh, I would say you don't have to work on means something ekdam new. Means you are not a co-founder, right? You don't have to build a new product for the your country. So let's start from basic. Means you start doing Notes app. Simple. I have also started doing Notes app. So it's basic thing. Start from basic, deploy it first, and then make the features. Means first build the MVP and then integrate more features in it. So yeah, while developing, you will always get errors. that only possible that development without error is not possible. So you can go to Stack Overflow and search means this is my error and all. You will get the answer eventually. If you don't get the answer, then ask ChatGPT and Claude or other AI tools. For understanding more about Android or Kotlin, you can follow these 3 YouTube channels. I also personally follow them. Yeah, and the major thing is explore GitHub more and more. Try to clone projects, see other projects, how they are doing, how they are writing the best code, and trying to learn from them. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so the
benefits.
debugging part. This is the part where we all like suck at some point of time. So let's say you have, as I said with the input output example, you expected something but you got something else. You expected 19, you got 20. I mean, 19-20 का तो फर्क तो नहीं होना चाहिए. So to fix this, I mean, at some point of time, you might have feel ki this app is crashing, and so how? I mean, and the next update that is fixed. How do they fix it? They find the problem and they try to see if people solved it before or not. If not, they will try to find a solution, and if yes, they will just copy paste the code. As simple as that. So for debugging, we use logging. Logging is nothing but a fancy word for printing something, like printing a message with some values. Let's say entered function, that function with some values. This is the current location, this and that. Debugger is a tool you get in Android Studio. It's nothing but you have to set some breakpoints at what point of time your line of execution should be stopped. These lines of execution will stop at these selected points and won't run entirely. I mean, if you click on the run button of Android Studio, your app will start, but it will not behave as you expected. It will take some breaks in the breakpoint. It will stop there. Then comes the Stack Overflow. Once you have the message from logger, let's say it says index out of bound, and let's say you don't know how to fix index out of bound. You just copy paste the message. You go to Stack Overflow. They say that either do try catch or check the size of the array. I mean, don't do try catch all the time. Check the size of the array and then do the operations. So you use the Stack Overflow and logging statements at the same time to fix a problem, and this is something people do often. This is the most used practice. Then in the end, if you don't find an answer, what to do? Go to the AI tools, ask them. Chat GPT, we have Claude AI, Gemini, Perplexity. I don't like Gemini, to be honest, but yeah, it's an AI tool, but for repetition tasks we can use that. Now comes the interesting part: how to crack your first internship. Let's help you do that. Next slide, please. Well, abhi if you apply, you will get asked that तुम्हारे पास experience कहाँ है, and if you say कि if you come with experience, then like फिर job नहीं है. I mean, it's a loop. What to do? Like, if you apply, if you get a job or like an internship, you are lucky. If you don't, what to do? For that, we have open source and unpaid internship. I highly recommend don't do unpaid internships, but if there is no other options, you can start. At least you will have something to put it on your resume, because people won't ask you kitna kamaya internship se. You can just say any random number, guys. I mean, if the second company asks you first internship mein what you did, they will ask you what you did and not how much you earned. So it's all about like what you did. You have to put it on your resume, and that matters. For the open source, you can go to GitHub. You can start with good first issues. It's like very simple, very basic. Not readme, and don't edit the readme files. I mean, that's the worst thing you can do. But try to understand the good first issues, what they wanted to do, what they wanted to achieve, what's the issue, and can you fix it or not. If you can't, ask some help. If they can help you, you will eventually get a proper flow how to solve that problem. Now, if you have your app ready, let's say you created a to-do app, share it on public, share it on LinkedIn, share it on Twitter. Let people know you created this app. You own the design, you own the logic, and you are the creator of this app. people connect to the recruiters as well. Let them know you did this. I mean, if you're eligible, they will eventually let you know and they will reach out to you as well. DSA is the most important part. Please don't run away. Like DSA, you should know DSA at least easy to medium. And DSA also has a discussion section. If you don't know, you can search company wise or you can search Android. So if that keywords matches, you will get entire list of discussions of people sharing their experiences for the role Android development, even for the internships. And yes, if you have your app ready, publish it on Play Store. I mean, I don't remember the costing, how much it takes for the Play console, but yeah, if you have that, you can post, you can publish unlimited apps. So go for it. It's the best way you can gain, like gain some spot in the crowd. You can gain some. You will stand out in the crowd. So this will get you some extra points for that. Yeah. Next slide, please.
Yeah. So after knowing how to means crack the first internship, so let's also know where to apply also. Na? So first of all, the most major job portal LinkedIn. So you can use LinkedIn jobs, or you can cold DMs LinkedIn means cold DM in LinkedIn, Twitter, or you can cold mail Qvet. You can also search the jobs in Qvet, Indeed, Well Found, Showcase. Uh, for cold mailing, those who don't know what is cold mailing, so so you have someone in connection, so you want to reach them out. So so cold mailing is nothing but to reach out to someone you don't know, telling them that your skills and what you want to work, why you want to work with them. That's the basic cold mailing. So by doing cold mailing also, you have the means percentage means of getting the job. Yeah, and I will suggest to build more and more connections in LinkedIn because it helps. Yeah, it really helps. So please don't use Instagram and use LinkedIn, please.
Well, the tips from our experiences. Well, these are the mentioned tips basically. First of all, like as I said, break down your problems. Don't jump into the problem to solve it. कि आज ही solve करके रहूंगा जितना भी रात हो जाए. So it's like know what your problem is. If it is very big, note down it in a piece of paper. Break it down into smaller components, then solve each and every components of it slowly and eventually. See how others code, check others repositories as I said, ask the community. You have community in WhatsApp, there's a WhatsApp community as well. Stack Overflow, Slack, Kotlin has its own Slack community. You can ask in GitHub, other forums like Quora. Don't go to Reddit, please don't go to Reddit. You have Discord as well. So yeah, you have like a very big community for Android. Then also, from my experiences, the people who interviewed me has asked me questions why and not how. They know how I can implement something, but I should know why I should implement that and not this. I mean, I can use an array and I cannot use list, but why should I do that? I mean, you can achieve the same thing with both. If you're not aware with array or list, I mean, it's some similar to list is something similar to array, but it's very dynamic. So yeah, so you should know the why part for everything. Then yes, you have to make sure, you have to keep this in mind. There's always someone better than you. This will keep you motivated all the time and help you get better. Also, don't lose the patience. Like keep yourself like cool, calm, because you are a chill guy and you have to crack your first internship very soon. Next slide, please. Just like if आज नहीं हो रहा है then कल हो जाएगा, कल नहीं हो रहा है तो परसों, but eventually it will get better and fixed. Yeah, that's all. It's a finish. Thanks.
Thank you, guys. Yeah,
Dada, can you share the QR code?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, Auditro, he has been raising his hand since 30 minutes. You can
Yeah,
turn
yeah,
on your, okay, you can unmute yourself and ask questions.
Thank you. Hi, Auditoda, and am I audible first?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Hi, Auditoda and Binoyada. I am also a JIC student, and my question is I am a very fond of Python development. And I don't know much about Java or Kotlin. I know very little bit. So, can I pursue app development with Python, or should I focus on Java?
Well, you said like app development with Python, right?
Yes, yes.
Well, that's not possible. I mean, I don't know somebody building apps with Python. You can integrate your Python logic in your code, but you can't build apps with Python entirely. So either you have to choose one of the development languages for Android, like Kotlin, Java, or maybe you can go with Flutter or React Native. Like React Native uses JavaScript. But anyway, so yeah, Python, I don't think there's a way to do that. So you have to do go with the other way around.
So what should I do? Should I go with Java or Kotlin?
Well, eventually you have to do DSA. So go with Kotlin. That would be my opinion. Kotlin is a like way to go. You can just get started with DSA as well. To be honest, I did DSA entirely in Java till my final year. And the time I got to know that as a full-time employee, if I want to switch, for example, if I want to switch, I have to do DSA again, but in Kotlin, they won't accept me doing it in Java. So that was something a challenge for me. But when I did it in Kotlin, the transition, I didn't saw the code solution. I mean, the in Java solution I did before, but the transition was very easy. So I still prefer Kotlin on top of it. But again, your academics will have Java in your third year, if I'm not wrong. But yes, uh, you will relate to things eventually.
One more question. Can I ask?
Sure, sure.
Yeah, I have built a web app, and I have a question how to uh, how to build an app through a web app. Like I have made it, but I don't know like how to made an app through it. So what should be my roadmap?
Okay, so you made a web app and you want to use this on your Android app, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, Aitro, you should answer this.
Uh, you can use WebView. Means in Android there is a component called WebView. Inside the WebView, when the app starts, you can launch that WebView and start showing a web application, web app that you have built. Yeah,
Oh, thank you.
yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Any
So
other
now,
questions?
yeah, Somik has a question. Somik,
Yeah.
you can
So
unmute yourself and ask question.
Yes, I'm audible now.
Yeah,
yeah.
you're
Yep.
audible.
So good evening, and I'm Somik again, who asked a question a few minutes back. Just like someone asked you that how to make profit out of app development, I have a similar type of question. If we see in terms of web development, we have cloud engineers who prevent hacking a website and stuff. But in terms of Android development, if we deploy our project like any app and charge services for it, some random people can modify it and bypass the payment gateway, which will hamper the developer eventually in the long run. So how to prevent that from happening?
So you mean to say you published this app already in Play Store, and after that it was like manipulated? Is it so? That's what you meant, right?
Yeah, it was modified. Just like a few days back, if you people know that there was a Spotify modified application
Yeah.
that was banned recently. So like that, many big services are also having modified version application which are hampering their business in the long run. So we as small developers, how can we prevent that?
Well, there are multiple security measures you can make sure of, like having a checksum in your backend. You can have app version check. I mean, there are multiple ways to do it. I mean, I'm not into that much security, but there are articles over the internet. You can do some research on that.
Okay, sir.
Okay, now Masum is raising his hand. You can unmute yourself. Aritrada and
So
Vinod, they
Masum
are all
again.
okay. Excuse me, Aritrada and Vinod, they are all actually firsters and they are having lots of curiosity in the domain of AppDev. And thanks
Yeah,
for
it's
joining
okay.
this
Sure.
session.
Yeah, sure.
Masum, you can speak.
So my next question is, people often say that apps are more optimized on iOS and their smoothness and user experience is just better. Personally, I don't believe that, but why people say like that? Is it true?
Aritra?
Uh, you can say it's basically ba- depends on the device, right? Because in Android, in some phones we have less RAM or the CPU is not so good. But in iPhone, that means the base model is also means it's quite better than any other, uh, let's say 16 GB phone for Android. So basically, let's give an example. So when I just told you about the flip feature that we have in the ionage app. So after developing it on Android, we also developed in iOS. So the, we are using for testing purpose, we are using iPhone 12, which is much older. Currently, it's iPhone 16 series. So in iPhone, it's much smoother than Android. So you can tell that, yeah, the hardware depends over here.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, now Ayush, you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Yeah, my question is, you gave us a very great roadmap for the Android development. So my question is, should we learn the iOS development also side by side, or we just only focus on the Android dev, then we'll just go for the iOS development? What should we do?
Yeah. So basically, for iOS development, you need a Mac,
Yeah.
topmost priority. So if you have a Mac, you can try iOS. Means we are also not iOS developers, but we
Yeah.
have learned iOS for the company purposes and all.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, uh, if you have MacBook, then you can try iOS also. It's my
Okay.
prefer means you can try means have a grasp on it means how it works means what is the syntax of it. So you can
Mm-hmm.
try it out.
All right. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Now, Boyho, you can ask your question.
Okay, at first, thank you, Binada and Aritrada, for this awesome session. And my question is, how can I start freelancing with AppDev? Is it possible to do freelancing with AppDev? And if yes, then how can I get started and start getting clients?
Well, you can get started with freelancing thing. You can earn lots of money from that. But I'll be honest, I never did freelancing in my entire journey, so I don't have any experience with that. Neither we two did. I mean, we just focused on like getting our first internship and getting a transition to full time employment. We planned to do freelancing, but the process was, like the roadmap from for that was very dynamic. I mean, there's no guarantee that you will get clients, so you might need some source or at least a upper hand from somebody.
Just to add one thing, if you want to do freelancing, right, you can means target small startups, means those who are newly built. So you can contact with the people, means the co-founders, and tell them that I will prefer the services for you or this app for you. Then you can means work for them or freelance type of thing. So you can do it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Is anyone having question? Folks, yeah, if you have any kind of question, you can ask Binoy or Itroda. It can be anything related to college studies as well, and how to manage your time. You can ask any question. They are our seniors. They
Yeah, please, please.
will be happy to help.
I have a short question regarding app dev, that is native app more stable or cross-platform app more stable?
Yeah, Binay, please. You go on.
Well, stability wise and both performance wise, native app is more stable. So let's say, let's take an example of Flutter or any cross platform like React Native. You wrote something, you pushed it into production, people are using it. Let's say X number of people are using it, in which 50%, let's say 60% is Android developers and 40% are iOS developers. A small feature is not working in iOS, but it is working in Android. So now you have to again debug it for iOS specifically, and that is, and once you are done with the debugging thing, you have to implement the fix. Once the fix is done, you have to test it on both Android and iOS again. So it's a long process. So stability wise and effort wise, I think native is something you should prefer. I mean, it is performant as well. If you use Amazon app, it is built on React Native, and I think you guys know it's very slow. I mean the things load. I mean, it's very slow. It just sucks even with the good internet. It's not because of the internet, it's because of the performance of the bridging that React Native does. So native, if it was built on native, it would be like extremely fast. So yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, I understood that.
Okay, Itroda, Binoy, let's do a quick selfie session, photo session,
Yeah.
if you
Sure.
agree. Okay, everyone kindly turn on your camera.
Zomato is built on React Native. Uh, no, no, no. It's not. I guess some couple of features are built, I guess, but it's not completely built.
Okay, Spotify did with app version. Well, I read it somewhere. They did checksum as well as app version checking as well. This was something like they know internally, but nothing was revealed later.
Everyone kindly turn on your camera if you want to be in the photo, in the image. Okay, let's turn on. Mm, together mode. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Is that everyone? Okay, let's wait for 1 minute and let everyone join. Turn on the camera. Okay, let's do a normal one. Okay, I have captured another one. Three, two. I'm capturing the picture. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Okay, thanks everyone for turning on your camera. Okay. Okay, if you guys have any question, you can ask, or we can just sum up this session, conclude this
Yeah,
session.
Ayush have a question. Ayush, yeah.
Yeah, I don't have any questions. It's a thank you giving. So thank you, Vinod and Aritra, for the session. We are very privileged. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for it. Thank
Thank
you
you.
Thanks a
also.
lot.
Yeah,
Thanks to you
thank
guys
you
as
from the
well.
dev.com team also. Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you.
thank you.
Thanks to you guys as well. Thanks to everyone for coming. Like it was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Thank you, seniors.
Thank you, Aritra
I
and
hope to
Vinay
learn
again.
something new. Yeah. Thank you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Thanks guys.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye everyone.
Bye.
I'm clicking on the end meeting option. Okay. Bye. Bye everyone. Good night.